Oh my God, I've been waiting for this for a long time. You brought me a report. You brought me a report on payment partners. I like this.
We have. It's a cool report.
Okay, let's start off with who you are and what you do. I think that's probably a good place to start.
All right. I'm Gil. I'm CMO at AppCharge. We're a payments platform, D2C platform for mobile games. What sets us apart is that we all actually come from making games and some of the biggest studios in the world, like Moonactive, Litika, Huge Games, Play Studios, and all that. We serve a very large amount of mobile game studios as clients. And we just released the report based on what we've learned from processing D2C sales, D2C purchases at scale.
Super interesting as well. So I'd like to dive into it. Let's
do it.
Let's crack on with it and see what we can. What's in it? So I haven't seen this before, so I'm reading this the same time.
So we're gonna do
everyone else.
We're gonna do a live reaction. Let's do it.
Go full on influencer. Okay, so this is everything that's included in it. Okay, cool.
So a bit about the method. We are integrated in over 60 games. We're doing D2C for quite a while now. This is what processing $500 million a year has taught us. We just took all the purchases, transactions from all the web stores we power, anonymized them, aggregated them, and it's highlighted insights that we found interesting and action oriented. So this is intended to be actionable go-to for whoever's doing D2C, whether you work with us or you don't work with us, to make sure that you integrate into your stores elements A, B, and C, because the data shows that there's value to be had.
Okay, cool. All right, we'll test you on the actionable in a bit.
Okay. So my burden of proof now.
Okay, payment preferences. What do we got? Ooh. Okay, so
this one is a handful.
We are looking at countries. We have the breakdown of payment methods per country, then effectively.
Yeah. So this report, we shared 10 countries here, and the ones that we found most interesting. But there's the full report has a lot more, and we're happy to share if anyone finds that interesting and wants the data and the spreadsheets. We're happy to share that as well. These are just select 10 countries that we found that have very interesting results in them. And later in slides, we dive deeper into that.
So in Germany, is that PayPal is the biggest? It is.
It's surprising, isn't that?
That is surprising.
I think it's 64%. If I remember correctly, it's 64%. We see that later in one of the next slides, the distribution of different countries where PayPal is the most popular. But in Germany, it's the vast majority of purchases. Yeah. So back when we started this, I was you know what? PayPal historically has been associated with a trusted platform that I'm maybe less frightful as a player or as a buyer to pay in. eBay and digital commerce. So when you think of it, if I'm trying to explain my way into the data, when you think of it, players interacting with the web store for the first time, they might be concerned. It's the first time that they buy something digital and not. E-commerce we're all used to by now, but if you buy something digital and you expect to find it waiting for you in your inventory in the game when you get back, that's a new experience. So maybe that could explain the overrepresentation of PayPal compared to, I'm guessing if you look at distribution of e-commerce, Shopify numbers, you're not going to see PayPal in those numbers for sure.
But it might also be connected to PayPal's obviously been connected with eBay for a long time. It's kind of been a safeguard against eBay dodgy purchases and that kind of thing as well. So maybe people see it as more of a safety guard in terms of making purchases online and that kind of thing as well. Interesting though, really interesting.
Yeah, I think you're nailing it on the head. Myself as a buyer, I know I have a lot of protection as a PayPal user. If I want to dispute, if I want to charge back, I'm probably better protected in PayPal than I am in my credit card provider. So maybe that's an easy way in for people to maybe purchasing on the first time on a web store, getting used to that. Maybe that's like you said, I think you really nailed it on the head, a safeguard to allow
and of
me
course,
to explore
eBay
this.
was massive a few years ago, so pretty much everybody will have built a PayPal account as a consequence of eBay being quite so big, because they were connected back in the day. Interesting. And what's this? So hang on, Netherlands, we've got dark green. What is dark green? I can't.
So is that the Netherlands one?
Is that ideal? Ideal?
So in the Netherlands?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's actually ideal. It's a real shocker to me when I saw the data. I think it's 68% of online transactions, D2C transactions in the Netherlands happen through Ideal, which is an alternative payment method, super popular in the Netherlands, not a lot of whole other places. So much so that like credit card usage in the Netherlands is super small. You see that in the next slide, but it's very dominant. It's very dominant.
Wow. Okay. All right. Let's jump on and see what else we've got.
So this is the PayPal distribution, and like the per country, the where is PayPal being the most popular. So Germany is obviously like a crazy outlier.
So I even with the rest, right into that then.
Yeah. But even in the rest, like look at the rest. Like this is so this is higher numbers than what you typically see in like e-commerce, like Shopify or like Amazon. And I think it arcs back to what you said of like the safeguard. So PayPal has been an amazing platform, an amazing enabler for D2C. We have great ties with like PayPal and Braintree as well as a PSP, and we love them as a partner. And like they've been so material in like allowing this industry of D2C to grow, and we see that arcing through the numbers.
It does make sense. It does make sense in terms of that safety net and that security when you see the logo of PayPal, I guess. But that is interesting though. Okay. So Germany's clearly very, very far above anyone else in terms of PayPal, but it's interesting to see the UK being so low with that, and Poland being almost non-existent.
Yeah, Poland is very dominant by bulk. We saw that in the previous slide, and very underrepresented in credit cards. We'll see that in a second. But yeah, the takeaway here is that there's no one size fits all. Like countries and geos behave very differently between one another, and a payment method, which is like the vast majority in Poland, like bulk, is not represented in many of the other countries at all, like 0%. So you really have to adjust the orchestration and what payment method you support in which region, and even the order in which you display that in the checkout preferences, because you would want to adjust in certain countries, show the most popular payment methods first, and then in other countries it's irrelevant. Like I wouldn't show bulk to a player purchasing in Italy, for example.
Yeah, 100%. But then, of course, if you don't have Ideal when you're showing it to players in Netherlands, then that's, according to this, is potentially a massive problem.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to. There's no like smoke and gun, right? There's no like an alternative universe when we didn't support Ideal. I'm guessing there's like that 68% of purchases. It's not that none of them would have buy. It's not that none of them would have purchased, right? They would. Yeah, many of them would probably gravitate towards a different payment method. But if you look at like the big numbers and over time, there are two effects here. One, it's probably a better conversion rate and completion rate compared to the other payment methods for them, because they like that payment method in the Netherlands. And B, it makes your players feel seen, right? If you support their preferred payment method and it's like right there front and center, it makes them feel seen in your web store, interacting with your brand. So that's awesome.
Yeah. And also you're removing friction. Like if they already have an account on a payment provider, it's much easier to get somebody to make a purchase because there's so much less friction.
Yeah.
Okay.
For sure.
Credit cards.
So that's surprising also. What do you think about that one?
So hang on. This is normal card. So we had this discussion earlier, and my first reaction was like, so is this debit and credit? And it is. It's any form of card payment, right?
Yeah. So the way that I explain it is because this is based on our web checkout numbers, the D2C checkout numbers.
Yeah.
Anything that is like a manually entered credit card, like with numbers, we would count as a credit card purchase. So that's like anything that will work on an e-commerce transaction. So that includes both credit and debit. Anything that's like it's through the other payment methods, like a PayPal button, a Bilk button, a Link button, Apple Pay, Google Pay, those will not count as credit cards.
Okay. So it's that kind of blows my mind that the US. So what? Hang on. What is the US paying with? Let's jump back up to this one quickly.
It's a good distribution in the US.
Yeah, it is. It's okay. Lots of Apple Pay, which would make sense.
And Google
Although
Pay.
Nowhere near. Surprisingly, the UK is way more on Apple Pay than the US. Okay, so it's a mixture of Apple Pay, Google Pay, PayPal, and then they kind of go down from there, really, don't they? All right. Sorry. Okay. So it's interesting that there isn't the same split in Canada, though.
It is interesting. Yeah.
There's a lot more on card than anything else. Yeah. What else have we got? And Poland is very, very, very small on credit cards.
Yeah, that blew me away. Like I posted on that on LinkedIn. Like that blew me away. That number. The 7% of 6% of transactions in Poland are happening through credit card.
Which one is the? I'm struggling to. I might be slightly colorblind, and I'm struggling to work out which one the largest one is in Poland.
So this is on us. Like the Bilk and the Google Pay actually like very similar in color in this chart. The big chunk you see there in Poland at the top is actually Bilk. So Bilk. It's 54%. Okay. 54% of DTC purchases happen in Poland.
And that presumably is another local payment provider.
Yeah, it's not just in Poland, but like it's very, very popular in Poland. It's like if you don't support that in Poland, you're missing out. There's probably a lot of value or an LTV like you leave on the table, as well as like maybe alienating your players if you don't support their preferred payment method, which is Bilk.
Okay.
So the credit cards is surprising. To me.
Yeah. Although it shows, I mean, it does show the confidence that people have in, like we said earlier, PayPal, but also Apple Pay, Google Pay. Like they're becoming more acceptable forms of payment that people are opting for now. And I suppose with Apple Pay, ironically, with Apple Pay on this type of thing, that is the least friction possible, really, because it's you're using the phone to be able to make the payment in the first place.
Yeah, it's a very trusted environment for you, like to complete the purchase. I always, whenever I buy on e-commerce, I always prefer Apple Pay. Like I don't want to input my credit card as a buyer. So like I totally understand it. But then you have countries like Canada. It's like 55% of purchases they manually enter their credit. I mean, they do it once. Like once they have a repeat purchase, when they come in for the second time, all those payment methods are pre-filled anyway. But it is interesting that they prefer 55% of purchases. They prefer manually entering the credit card for the first time and not some other alternative method that might be less friction. But they still
they actually use. Sorry, Canada. Yeah, so there is
a bit of PayPal, a bit of this, a bit of that.
Yeah. So it's not like the options aren't available to them. That's really interesting. Okay. Apple Pay. It kind of blows me away that the UK is ahead of the US on Apple Pay, but
that's surprising, right? Like, but huge in the UK, huge.
Yeah,
almost 40% of D2C purchases.
I have to say, I use it for everything, so I completely understand that. But
is that all through your purchases, Adam? Like, are you pushing the numbers up?
Yeah, maybe.
Your Apple Pay, maybe.
Okay, so UK, Australia are both ahead of US, closely followed by France, Thailand. Interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, I do think Apple Pay is probably the most frictionless form of payment on this type of integration, on this type of flow, because it is so simple. You would normally have it set up anyway, so there's no configuration for it or anything like that. So it's literally just double click on the side, and most people have done that in the past anyway. So it's sort of understood, as well as it's similar to PayPal, I guess.
Yeah. One interesting context to add here: this is from, again, like what we've learned from processing $500 million a year, but this is across the board. This is not just iOS. So when you think of it, Apple Pay 40% in the UK. When you think about this, is all of our traffic. This is not just iOS. This is including Android purchases. That's even more impressive. And vice versa. If you look at again, countries we spoke about sooner, like Poland and Netherlands, when so many players gravitate towards those preferred payment methods like Bilk and Ideal, you don't need Apple Pay. It's easy and it's very low friction, but they gravitate towards something that to them is less friction.
For sure. And if people are using something else, then you've got to be able to support that in the first place.
Yeah. So the 40%, almost 40% in the UK, that's insane when you consider this number includes all of our Android purchases as well that cannot complete Apple.
Yeah, that is crazy. Okay. Google Pay is strongest in Spain, Italy, Poland, UK. Well, wow, US for Google Pay, 12%. So does that mean you can pay with Apple Pay on Android?
You can pay Google Pay on both. For our web checkout, you can pay on Google Pay on both Android and iOS.
No, but for Apple Pay.
For Apple Pay, only iOS.
As well? It's only iOS.
For Apple Pay, you can only pay on iOS.
Interesting. Okay. Cash App Pay. Yeah. Okay.
So these are interesting tidbits of when you look at the total global purchases, even APMs that are very big in some regions, like Klarna is big in the US, but if you look at regional, global, it still only accounts for 1%, but it's growing substantially. So the overall global impact is low, but it's still growing very significantly.
It blew my mind that Klarna was actually on there in the first place as a named pay source. I find that incredible that it's growing at that rate. It's nuts.
Yeah, it's very significant. It's growing very well.
Okay.
It's really funny that you're seeing the report for the first time.
I quite like
product. It's like an ex-product. It's like an ex-product person. This is user testing team. I'm looking at your eyes. Where is he looking at? What's not clear enough here? How can we improve the next ones? I'm on the prowl for user testing. Okay.
We should do this and film it more often. I think it's good fun. I'm going to do this with more reports, I think. Okay, first time web store sales, a multi-touch journey. Not all players buy instantly. This is a conversation.
Okay, so I'll work us in. We transitioned to a different section of the report. The first section spoke about payment methods, payment popularity, and player preferences around payments. The second portion talks about player behavior around the web store. How often do they come back? How long does it typically take them to make the first purchase? Out of those who make the first purchase, how many are likely to make the second purchase, and so on. So the first report, or the first slide, talks about the average time it takes a player from first visit to first purchase. And what we found is that it's actually the majority of players do not make a purchase on their first land in the web store. It takes them a while. They need to come back. It takes them a second time, a third time to come back and make that first purchase, and that the median time for that is 2.6 days. So that's really crucial to us to stress out the point that web stores are not a one and done deal. You don't just build them, offer static offers, don't change them never, and expect good results. We touch more on that later, but
the average of 2.6 days is from opening the web store for the first time to making a purchase.
To making a first purchase, and it's median, it's not average, but that's the number.
Okay.
Yeah, so you actually need to get the player to come back to. So that means two things. One, the first impression is super crucial. So the login experience, making it seamless, making it one tap, all of that is really, really important. And B, your VIP managers, if they're the main source of you driving traffic towards the web store, it's not enough for them to just like get the player to visit once. After he visited, you need to keep encouraging him to come back to the second and third time, because that's when he will make the purchase. It's not the first time.
Yeah, but there's also an element of establishing the extra value of making the purchase on the web store, right? I mean, like, that's not going to be an instant understanding of, oh, this package is much better than it would be if I'd have purchased it on the. So I think there's kind of, that takes some time to mature in somebody's head and understand the fact that it's potentially better value buying it from there than it is buying it on the actual store.
Yeah, and like we said before when we spoke about PayPal, this is a new experience. There might be some concern involved. There might be some friction involved. There might be some question marks involved, because maybe I'm used to buying in e-commerce a pair of shoes that I can get them in the mail, and I can talk to my credit card provider and do a chargeback if the physical good is not being shipped to me. But if it's a digital pack of coins and I expect to buy them and then log into the game and see them there, like maybe I'm worried. Like maybe I'm worried that like this is not gonna flow as fluently as I want it to flow. So there's a lot of, especially for the first time, for the first purchase, there are a lot of hurdles to cross as a player seeing this for the first time.
Makes sense. What this means for publishers: guide players towards their first purchase, use retargeting email reminders, social media promotion, and VIP account management to show players the value of web store. That's got to be the first point, is establishing that value. That's as soon as you can get somebody to understand that it's going to be a better deal. I think that's the first part, definitely. Use welcome offers strategically. Yeah, all about establishing the value. Track player behavior beyond their first visit. Yeah. I do think that's very, very true, because it is going to take time for, once you've gone and looked at the pricing. So you may just click on the store. Like, I know I click on the store whenever I've installed a game for the first time, just to have a look at how extortionate they are, and if it's something that I'm going to invest in the future. And I think if if you have the option of a web store there, you're going to check it out to see what there is and if it's applicable or not. So it does make a lot of sense. Leverage seasonality, keep your web store live and ever changing. Yeah.
So that's actually a big one, but I'll touch up on that later in the report. We have a quote by our VP product, Funny, who was amazing, knows the space inside out. So the concept of seasonality is a big takeaway from this report, but I guess we'll touch up on that when we get to that.
Web store buyers stick around.
So this one is an interesting. Let me walk you through this. So this says that once you get them going, repeat purchase are huge numbers. So 50% of first-time buyers will make a second purchase. 63% of two-time buyers will make a third purchase. 70% of fourth-time buyers will make a fifth purchase. So once you get them going, once you get them to see the value, once you get them to make an action, it's not obviously it's easier to find a second-time purchase from a first-time purchase. Like, these numbers are better than first-time purchase to nothing. Yeah. But it's the sheer numbers that are extremely high in web stores compared to other digital products or digital storefronts. If you compare this again to a Shopify store, these are insane numbers. Like, you rarely see 70% repeat purchase rate. So web stores have a way to, when you do them well, when you keep the what you said before, like seasonality, when you keep it interesting for them to keep coming back to and explore other offers, you see that the power users will end up buying repeatedly again in greater numbers than you're used to seeing in the in-app store, in greater numbers that you're used to seeing in other e-commerce comparables like Shopify and stuff. And then on the right, we have out of a typical week, what percent of purchases are first-time purchases? What percent of purchases are from users who are making one purchase a week? 2 per 3, 4 per 7, and 8+ purchases a week, we have a significant amount of players who are making more than 8 purchases a week on the web store repeatedly, week after week after week.
Do the out of interest, sorry, slight deviation from here, but like I've seen multiple web stores now in games, and they're offering higher value packages than you can purchase in the App Store. Is that? I mean, obviously, if you are a VIP and you're purchasing a lot, it saves on multiple purchases going through and creating more and more and more. Is this a recommended thing now? It's only because I've seen it quite a few times. It got me interested as to whether this is like standard practice now.
So that's how we recommend publishers go about this. There are 2 avenues or 3 avenues you can go. One is offer no discount, offer exactly the same offers at the same value as you offer in your in-app store. We don't recommend that. Again, we want to educate players to make that more frictionful flow to go to the web store and buy there. They need an incentive. And then when you do want to give an incentive, you have 2 options. One is to give the same amount of currency for a discount, like $8 instead of $10. And the other one is maintain the price point, keep the package at $10, but instead of giving 1,000 coins, give them 1,200 points, 1,200 coins. So we recommend the latter. We recommend that the value you'll communicate more value, but you'll do that in.
I actually meant more. So I think the maximum purchase that you can make on the App Store is $200 now. Used to be $100 for a long time, but I've seen quite a few companies now putting up sort of $400-500 packages on web stores. Is this like the norm now?
Depends on the category, but yes. There are crazier examples, like different genre. Like we operate now in mobile gaming, but different genre completely. When you look at Star Citizens, they have packs of $64,000, right? So like it's there's no limit, right? It's like, and people buy them. People buy $1,000 ship packs. People buy $64,000 ship packs. So in mobile gaming, it's not that extreme level, but yeah, for sure. Like we work with our clients and our publishers hand in hand to identify the right price points that we think that might be an untapped opportunity in. And for those who have heeded our advice and counsel, we saw 95% improvement in LTV. We saw very significant results, multiple cases over the last year. So we try to tap into that and share our experience in how to analyze the data and find untapped price points. And maybe there is a reason to introduce a $200 package. Maybe there is a reason to introduce a $500 package. Again, depends on the category.
For sure.
And way and north of that, so like way bigger than that as well. I don't want to get into specific examples because that might hint at like some specific clients, but we have worked with clients who offered packages much greater than even $500, and those sell. So I mean, there's value to be had.
There has to be a reason for doing it, I'm sure. Fascinating. Okay, sorry, I digress massively. Let's go back to this. Okay, so the players do stick around, which is awesome. Is this partly due to the fact that it's sort of, you have the option of building it up more to be more than just a store? Does that drive retention as a consequence from what you've seen?
So there's a bunch of tools and activities you can do as an operator, as a monetization manager, to help retention of your web store. First is the features. So like, for example, the AppCharge's platform offers a very wide range of features to encourage players to come back, to help players see the value, and so on. Features like coupons, accumulation bars, daily bonuses, rolling offers, and all of these keep players coming back to find interesting things. But you need, as a team, as a monetization team, be that if you work with us or if you build a store in-house or if you work with someone else, you need to know how to use these tools effectively. Again, arcing back to this seasonality aspect, you need to apply a LiveOps-like mindset to your web store. It's not a static thing. If you treat it as a static thing, players are going to get bored because they've seen it. They see what you have to offer them. They're not going to keep coming back. But if you apply variable rewards, if you apply seasonality, if you apply different offers when Halloween is around the corner and Black Friday is around the corner, if you treat your web store as another game client, and if you apply LiveOps mindset to it, that's a significant boost to retention, because that intrigue keeps players coming back, because they don't know what they're going to find.
Things like a daily reward on the web store, that kind of thing, like a free daily reward on the web store to keep
for sure
users coming back into the store.
For sure, that's one of the features that I listed on the first part of features. There are many of them, but even for that, you need to make that interesting. If it's the same low ball daily bonus, and I'm a power user, I'm not going to get excited about that. So you need to make sure that you personalize the daily bonus to my player level and my currency level and my willingness to pay level. So there's a way to go about them, but it takes work. It takes work to do that effectively. And the teams we found that we work with to find the most amount of success are teams that are investing in this, and we're very happy to jump on the wagon with them and match their investment. They invest, we invest, and we sit for hours and we cipher through the data, and we find like good opportunities. But it does take work. It's not a set it and forget it type of product or website.
No, for sure. But then it's an extension of LiveOps, so it is an ongoing process.
And you have to think of it. You have to think about it with a LiveOps mindset, for sure.
Yeah,
like you said,
100%. What we got?
So this is a takeaway from the previous slide.
Okay.
And this is the lovely Fanny. Have you met Fanny? You met him at our parties, right?
I don't know. In all honesty,
okay. So we need to get you to meet Fanny ASAP. Fanny's wonderful. In this quote, again, she's talking about seasonality. She's talking about the LiveOps mindset. I think we kind of covered that in the last couple of minutes, but she's very. It's a very insightful quote from her. I love this quote. I think I even included that in one of the posts that I did about this. So that's what we're trying to convey. This is why we did this report. We're trying to make sure that people understand that web stores should be treated as another game client. They should be treated with a LiveOps mindset. They should be treated with, I need to create seasonality in this. I need to create a reason for players to keep coming back. Yeah, it's in the features, like you said, like the daily bonus. It's there. Use those features wisely. But it's also in how you go about, and you work with the system, and you work with the tools that are given to you to make the web store a place worth returning to.
Yeah. It's it makes complete sense. The rolling offer side of it is keeping it fresh, I think, is the biggest point. You want to sum up?
I think we covered most of it. This is for us, it's been like a very interesting experiment to try to think about how can we take a lot of data, anonymize it, aggregate it, to make sure that like we're respecting our clients and not exposing anything sensitive, but trying to give something back to the community, give something back to the industry, for them to maybe use in wherever they do web stores. And if they want to do them with us, we're happy to take the call, discuss. And if they do this in-house or they do this with another vendor, we're still happy to discuss. We're still happy to give our feedback and give like what we can do to help. How did you find it? Is this data interesting? Is this like, would you want to see more of that from us?
Well, I mean, like if I was still working for a gaming company, I think I would go and I had a external payment provider. I think I would be looking at Netherlands and going, do we support Ideal?
Do we support Ideal?
That's my biggest takeaway from it. No, I think it's very useful. I think it's always useful to see any information. Like I come from a gaming background, and data is everything, and the more data that you can get on anything is fantastic. So just being able to see this kind of breakdown high level, I think, is very, very useful. And also as a check, hell, do we support these payments in these countries? I think that's super useful by itself. So yeah, I think it's I think it's very useful.
All right, cool. So we'll do more of that.
Lovely team.
Yeah, amazing team. Kick-ass team. There's like so much. This all looks like very compact. Like we try to make it 10 pages because we personally dislike like the 100 pages that say nothing type of reports. So we try to compact it. There's a whole lot of like spreadsheets and tables in the back. If anyone's like interested in seeing that, please reach out. We're happy to share. So this Kick-Ass Teams like did a whole lot of work to make sure that is interesting and that is conveyed very concisely, and the important bits at the top and all of that. So like I'm really proud of the team for doing that.
Cool. And as the message says here, I'll put the link down below so that people can sign up if they want to.
Cool.
If they want to see more. Fantastic. It's been enlightening. Thank you very much for joining me.
It's been lovely chatting with you as always. Oh, for sure.